Making headlines tonight, Prime Minister Mottley gives more details about changes to come under the new IMF arrangement. A possibility the cost of insurance could rise as a result of Hurricane Ian. Barbadians warned not to drop their guard with new COVID-19 variants still a concern. And coming up in sports, West Indies hoping for more success ahead of the T20 World Cup qualifiers.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. Major reforms could be coming to some state-owned enterprises as Barbados embarks on a new program with the International Monetary Fund. Prime Minister Mottley made the revelation as she tabled the Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation Plan 2022 in the House of Assembly. Sharika Griffith has that story.
As was the case in the first BERT program, government says it will have to maintain fiscal and debt sustainability as it embarks on a new extended fund facility arrangement with the International Monetary Fund. This time around, Prime Minister Mottley says the focus will be on growth. According to the Prime Minister, the implementation of reforms at state-owned enterprises, including establishing public-private partnerships, will be a critical feature of the revised program.
We've also indicated that the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation cannot continue as it is. The truth is that technology has effectively made the CBC's mission difficult, almost irrelevant in some instances, because we live in a world of narrowcasting as opposed to broadcasting. Each of us will pick up our phone, pick up our computers, and watch what we want to watch, and don't have to worry about free-to-air national television. So those models cannot continue with business as usual.
Prime Minister Mottley has also touched on the Transport Board.
We already see where it is going with a number of private owners in the TAP program, the Transport Augmentation Program, which the government started before COVID. And I am aware that the Deputy Prime Minister has been meeting with the sector and has also been putting us in a position where she will continue the discussions with the unions with respect to us moving to a mass transit authority that will allow for the effective regulation of what is already predominantly a private-run sector.
The Prime Minister has outlined several pillars which will underpin government's growth strategy. With authorities close to overcoming hiccups with the regulatory environment for the renewable energy sector, she expects to see a massive unleashing of projects from the beginning of next year. Low and middle income housing is also a focus, and 350 Juravilla homes from Guyana should be available in a few months. Prime Minister Mottley has also acknowledged a need to do better with the country's existing sectors, including tourism.
A lot of the hotels that exist now cannot pay our bills in the third decade of the 21st century, and we therefore need to be able to ensure that there are opportunities for the owners of those establishments to access affordable capital and to renew their product, even if it means demolishing and building and having greater density, and ensuring that not only can they earn more because of greater density, but they can command a higher average daily rate because of the renewed quality of the experience. We hope to work with the Africa Exim Bank in order to be able to make this a reality in terms of amplifying the source of funds for our tourism sector.
During her more than 2-hour-long presentation, Prime Minister Mottley also disclosed a digital bank has been granted a license and is expected to begin operating early next year. While government is moving to introduce a new immigration bill in a bid to reverse the declining population, she says Barbados will not do citizenship by investment. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thanks, Sharika. And we're hearing that government's new BERT program with the IMF is attractive. During his presentation in the lower house, Senior Minister and Minister of Energy and Business, Carrie Simmons, highlighted there is a self-monitoring mechanism built into it.
There will be semi-annual reviews whereby we look at the performance of different ministries which are responsible for growth in this country. And that there will be built in again, this is homegrown plan. This is not foisted on us by anybody. and I can come to that a little bit later. Built into it, Mr. Speaker, therefore, sir, are benchmarks. The plan itself speaks for the need to target a primary balance, to set targets on the transfer of money to state-owned enterprises.
Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey says the type of growth the New BERT program will achieve for Barbadians is critical. He told the House of Assembly to ensure national development, it is important to create the right type of growth.
Tell me about people-centered growth. Because if you have growth that is distorted, where many benefit, sir, but the majority don't, then I'm not interested in that growth. If it doesn't redound to people being able to eat food in Barbados, sir, I am not interested in that growth. And I know that this program that is before this House, sir, would allow us to be able to make sure that people are able to eat the food. Sustainable economic growth. Sustainable, inclusive economic growth, sir. And I keep making the point, sir, that it has to be inclusive.
The local insurance industry is closely monitoring developments in Florida and other countries heavily impacted by Hurricane Ian, just in case the fallout results in reinsurance pressures on the wider insurance market here in the region. While assessments are still being made in the wake of the hurricane, there is a possibility the cost of insurance could be impacted. This is according to President of the General Insurance Association of Barbados, Randy Graham, who says local insurance officials are hoping they can avoid that scenario.
Everyone is worried about the loss of life that we saw in Hurricane Ian and the amount of damage that it caused to Florida and other places, Puerto Rico and other places. But I think the issue for us in the Caribbean is really the restriction of reinsurance capacity and the hope that that does not create pressure to increase the price of insurance in the Caribbean market. We are struggling with the cost of living increases in Barbados and the Caribbean right now. But if we do get reinsurance capacity restrictions, typically that leads to increased prices on motor, on property, and other types of insurance, which is a situation that we're doing our best to avoid.
The GIAB president adds the insurance-related costs are still coming in for the devastation in Florida.
So Ian was going to cause about 30 billion US in damage. We've already seen 140 people unfortunately lost their life, and these are things that we have to contemplate seriously in the Caribbean because it can come very close to home. For us in the Caribbean, it is likely going to mean that global reinsurers are going to struggle with these events. We're going to see restrictions in capacity, reinsurance capacity for the Caribbean region, which tends to lead to increased prices. Of course, we all need to work together to control these prices. But for us, the main issue really is to get more people in the Caribbean better prepared for stronger hurricanes because the intensity and the frequency of these hurricanes is increasing.
The Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology continues to be a safe learning environment for its students. This assurance comes from Principal of the Learning Institution, Ian Drakes. Incident which occurred in the early afternoon. That incident brought classes to a standstill. Police and ambulance personnel responded to the incident, which reportedly involved a student of the institution. Mr. Drakes explained these situations are uncommon on campus.
We at the SJPI treat this with the severity of which it has occurred, and we want to appeal to the family to let the police service do their due diligence as it relates to the investigations of this matter so that we can come to an amicable solution at the SJPI. Because we here pride ourselves in training our youth for the trades which we know that they can do so well in. This is not an everyday occurrence at the SJPI, and so I want to let the public know that your children are safe at the SJPI.
The principal says the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology continues to fulfill its goal of providing quality education in a safe environment. He's reassured parents, guardians and students the management of the school remains committed to the safety of its students and to a resolution.
Our securities pride themselves in making sure that you are kept in the best conditions that we can allow at all times. Management will investigate and will seek resolution to this situation. As I said, it's not a common occurrence. And so we want to alleviate any fears to all those parents out there as we send our children to the SJPI on a daily basis. we want you to know that we will do all in our powers to give them the best care and attention on a continuous basis.
A man placed on the police wanted list yesterday is now in custody. The Barbados Police Service had earlier turned to the public by releasing a number of images in the hope of a positive identification. The man was wanted for questioning in connection with serious criminal matters. The police service has expressed thanks to the general public and the media for their assistance in this matter. Coming up, constitutional reform public meetings restart this month. The Constitutional Reform Commission will host 3 public meetings this month, and members of the public are encouraged to attend and make submissions. The first will be held on Sunday, October 16th at the St. Michael's School, Martindales Road, while another will be on Sunday, October 23rd at the Dighton Griffiths Secondary School, Kingston Christchurch. The final meeting for the month will be on Sunday, October 30th at the Alexandra School, Queen Street, St. Peter. All meetings will be held from 5 to 8 p.m. The Commission's terms of reference, among other things, is to examine, consider, and inquire into the Barbados Constitution and all other related laws and matters with a view to the development and enactment of a new constitution. Despite the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions in Barbados, the region, and the world, countries are being reminded of new variants and cautioned not to drop their guard. Head of the Infection Prevention and Control Infectious Diseases programs at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Dr. the Most Honourable Corey Ford, stressed the need to continue the work on the ground that will reduce the spread of COVID-19 among individuals. He also impressed on the importance of vaccination. Dr. Ford was the latest guest on the A Matter of Fact program of the Pan American Health Organization.
We know, certainly, from the evidence that the risk of persons getting ill in that particular stead is a good thing. That they're not going to get ill to the extent as they might if they're unvaccinated. And I think that that's an important charge. I think that that has changed the course of the pandemic. It's made people a little bit more relaxed in knowing that this is one of the things that would help the charge of what we saw initially during the pandemic with multiple people being hospitalized and sick and really didn't know much about COVID. I think people have become more comfortable with it, understanding how it spread, etc.
Dr. Ford is telling citizens self-care and individual responsibility are critical at this point.
Understand, yes, it is spread by this mechanism, and if you're going to be in a tricky situation, wear your mask still. I think that this is important. Use the appropriate hand hygiene mechanisms that you were doing in the initial part of the pandemic. So, to definitively answer your question, we are clearly not out of the woods, and self-care and responsibility needs to be the mantra.
A pioneer in the solar thermal industry is adding his voice to the debate surrounding a proposed rate increase for the Barbados Light and Power Company, a matter currently before the Fair Trading Commission. Founder and Managing Director of Solar Dynamics Limited, James Husbands, believes the BLPC can explore other options rather than raising electricity rates. He suggests an increase at this time will be painful for businesses and the average consumer. Mr. Husbands is also revealing details about a project led by the CARICOM Secretariat. Under the initiative, players in the solar thermal industry will partner with power companies to provide an avenue where consumers can save on their electricity bills and pay for their solar water heating system at the same time.
Power companies have the opportunity to work to expand their base. For example, we were looking at a country where we were saying, okay, if we could install 1,000 solar heaters through the power company can have the clients pay for the systems over a 2-year period, for example, on their electricity bill. But then the reduction in electricity would actually pay for the system. And that at the same time, the demand side of the peak of power would be reduced. And this was a proposal that we were working with, or we're still working with, through CARICOM Secretariat.
The Solar Dynamics boss is concerned about the level of red tape in the renewable energy sector as it relates to solar PV installations. He's calling for a reduction in the time between installation and connection.
We need to fix the delivery time. We need to fix the actual time, or reduce the time it takes from the time someone signs the contract to the time light and power is connected. That is what we need to do. That is a very big bugbear in the industry. So the permissions that are required, we need to take. We've taken it and we've put so much red tape in the industry. We need to remove the red tape, and we need to look at here are the areas, here are the blocks, here are the gaps, and fix those gaps, because it will be frustrating for someone to say, yes, I want a photovoltaic system, pay the deposit, and it takes a year before Light and Power connects them.
Sports time now. We head over to the sports studio and say a very good evening to Damien Best.
Good evening to you, Shane. Good evening to all viewers and listeners. Some cricket news first up. West Indies will be aiming to build a winning culture and make it a perfect 2 from 2 in their ICC T20 World Cup warm-up fixtures in Australia. The regional side is preparing to face the Netherlands in their final warm-up game at Melbourne Cricket Ground before the qualifiers begin next week. The Windies played their first match on Monday against United Arab Emirates and won by 17 runs. On the other hand, the Netherlands lost their last game against Scotland by 18 runs. That Windies versus Netherlands fixture set for 4 a.m. start Barbados time. Well, the regional CG United Super 50 Cup competition is fast approaching, and the Barbados Pride franchise is seeking success in the white ball format. According to Barbados Cricket Association coach and national selector Ryan Hines, the just concluded Barbados Cricket Legends Cup has provided good insight into Barbados' readiness for the tournament. Last Friday, the Sir Gordon Greenwich 11 defeated the Sir Charles Griffith 11 by 19 runs in the finals at Kensington Oval. Now the players will turn their attention to the regional tournament set for Antigua and Barbuda and Trinidad and Tobago from October 27th to November 20th. Speaking to CBC Sports, Hines says the warm-up matches were played with the right competitive spirit.
I thought the product was really good in terms of the scores, etc. I thought the last 2 games were of a high quality. We would have seen a few young players coming through the ranks, obviously Joshua Dorn, Jaden Laycock, Jaden Lord, and also Kevin Wickham. As you would have known, he would have participated in the Youth World Cup in January of this year. And he was one of the shining lights. And his form has been excellent throughout the club season and also in the Legends Series. He's definitely one for the future. So all in all, it was a pretty good showing for all and sundry. When you look at the teams, a really good cross-section of players from the lower divisions as well, too. So it was a really good product and a really good showing.
Barbados Pride has not won the regional Super 50 competition since the 2016-2017 season, and Hines believes that can only change with good, consistent performances from all players.
We've been starved for cricket the last couple of years due to COVID. As you rightfully said, our success, all being reaching the most finals actually, Damien, in the list here, which is the regional Super 50, is something that we seriously look at in terms of our planning, in terms of how we can execute and maximizing the critical moments. So all in all, these are things that we will discuss. As you know, we have a year-round program. Some players obviously will be at the World Cup. Some guys participated in the CPL. So the experience is there, the youth is there. We just need to, on a given day, how well we can execute as a team.
Well, host India defeated South Africa by 7 wickets in the third and final one-day international in Delhi this morning. Chasing a target of 100 runs, India comfortably reached home in 19.1 overs on 105 for 3 to seal the series 2-1. Shubman Gill top scored with 49. Now sent into bat earlier, Kuldeep Yadav snapped up 4 for 18 in 4.1 overs as India bowled out South Africa for just 99 runs. Heinrich Klaasten was the top scorer of 34 as 7 South African batters got out for single-digit scores.
The Business Report, brought to you by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, a department of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, supporting young entrepreneurs from idea to enterprise.
In tonight's Yes Business Report, we return to the recent Youth Talent and Expo held at Sky Mall to take a look at some of the businesses which displayed their products and offered their services. Ryan Broom has more. More than 30 small businesses took part in the Youth and Talent Expo at Sky Mall, offering a wide range of products and services, from food and beverages to clothing and technology items. Now, the majority of those businesses have gone through the YES program, while some of the others on display were invited to be part of the event by the Division of Youth. Right after the official launch, Director of Youth Affairs, Cleviston Hunt, Manager of YES, Ryan Mosley, members of the Planning Committee, and other officials from the Ministry of Youth took part in a walkthrough of the event to greet the participants and, in some cases, sample and purchase some of their products and to learn more about the young people and their businesses. Among them, Kiara Riley of Kiara's Enterprises with her wide range of baked treats, the Math A Plus Academy featuring Kwame Goodridge and his mathematics-related tutoring services, Christopher Marshall of Grow It Out with their beard oils, Nika Mangle of Lounge Express, Romaine Ben with the business Wearable Pride, Kimmel Doughton of A Touch of Peace, Natalie Jackson of NJ Claus Arts, Rosebud Carter of Rosebud Concepts, Janelle Rice of Aurora Passions, Kayla DePisa of Natural Hydration, Fatima Patel of Janoon's Designs, and Akela Nichols of Glamour Touch, among others. Then, of course, there was a fashion show segment of the expo, which was very popular with the shopping crowd. That event was coordinated by UNICEF youth advocate Ashley Lashley and featured a wide range of colorful and trendy designs, all created by 4 young local designers. Here's looking ahead to next year's Youth and Talent Expo. For the YES Business Report, I'm Ryan Broom. That's our news. Good night and be good. Thanks for visiting us. To get more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.